For years in The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Mary often painted a negative picture of George Cooper. They often described him as a heavy drinker, a simple-minded individual who liked to argue with Mary, and even unfaithful. Based on their recollections of him, it's easy to assume George was a terrible husband and father. But after the debut of Young Sheldon, we got a much deeper look at George. He emerged as a far more sympathetic figure, a dedicated father, tirelessly working to lift his family up, and often sacrificing his own well-being and career for the sake of his family. While George certainly wasn't perfect, Young Sheldon reveals a far more complex and sympathetic character than many fans expected. In this video, we'll examine the key moments that prove George Cooper was far different from the man Sheldon and Mary often described in The Big Bang Theory. To begin with, in Season 10, Episode 5 of The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon talks about catching his dad cheating when he was 13 years old, where he came home from school and found his father in bed with another woman who was not his mother. This painted a lasting image, and he never talked about it again, but lived with the belief that his father was unfaithful. However, after the debut of Young Sheldon, it was later revealed that the woman was actually his mother, Mary, who was wearing a blonde wig and a German beer maid outfit as part of a role-playing surprise. This is where partners pretend to be different characters to create fun or surprise each other.
Are you ready for your surprise?
I sure am.
Okay. Hello, you handsome American boy toy. I am Helga. Do you like what you see?
Yeah.
Because Sheldon didn't recognize her, this incident became a deeply traumatic childhood memory, making him believe his father had betrayed his mother. In the Big Bang Theory episode, The Explosion Implosion, Sheldon claims that his father never built model rockets with him. What he conveniently forgets to mention is that his father once drove him all the way to the Space Center when NASA didn't respond to his calculations for vertical takeoff and landing technology.
We're going to Houston.
Really?
Yeah. You and me are going to give those space monkeys a little talking to.
There was also another time when George took his sons on a boys' weekend to watch a space shuttle launch.
So, Sheldon, me, and Georgie are going to take a little road trip this weekend. See the shuttle launch.
I can't believe we're going to see an actual working spacecraft.
Look how happy he is. Good job.
However, it started raining and the plan was ruined.
Oh no.
It'll pass. Just get some sleep.
Didn't pass.
Sheldon, I'm real sorry.
George saw how disappointed Sheldon was, and knowing how deeply he was into science and how much he had been looking forward to seeing a space shuttle launch, George took it upon himself to cheer Sheldon up.
Never understood how lightning works.
Didn't they teach you that in high school?
They probably did, but I got hit in the head a lot playing football. Would you explain it to me?
When positive and negative charges grow large enough, a giant spark occurs in the cloud.
These actions are not a representation of what Sheldon described as a disinterested father, though he later realized how much his dad cared more than he thought.
I didn't realize until years later that my father was only asking questions about lightning and thunder to cheer me up. In fact, he would often pretend to be dumb just to make me feel better.
Although some of George's poor decisions during Sheldon's early life may have negatively shaped Sheldon's opinion of him, what Sheldon often forgets or fails to see is how many times his father was there for him. For example, when Sheldon was running for class president and was intimidated by the prospect of public speaking.
Everything okay?
No, I have to give a speech in front of the entire assembly.
Oh, got a little stage fright?
Unfortunately so. Just thinking about it causes my bladder to misbehave.
George took the time to share some of his own personal experiences and encourage him, showing him he is already brave and can handle everything.
Yeah, I've been there.
You have?
When I first started coaching, I was real nervous to talk to the team, give a locker room speech. I'll tell you something else. You don't give yourself enough credit for how brave you are.
I don't?
No. Sheldon, you are 10 years old going to high school. Everyone's older than you, everyone's bigger than you, but you keep at it, day after day. That's brave.
And thanks to George's pep talk, Sheldon went on to destroy his opponent with his speech.
She may love football, and she may love God, but she was born in Scarsdale. That's in New York. In fact, in her bedroom, there is a pennant for the New York Yankees. Don't mess with Texas!
Sheldon often portrayed his dad as a simple-minded bully who only cared about football and beer and completely detached from Sheldon's interests. However, what Sheldon often overlooks is that George understood him far more than he gave him credit for. For example, George knew enough about Star Trek to use it to calm Sheldon's fear of flying while they were traveling to California to attend a lecture by Stephen Hawking at Caltech.
You want to see Stephen Hawking? We have to sit down right now.
It's too dangerous. I can't.
It's okay to be scared. That's when you gotta dig deep and be brave. What do you say?
No, I'm your terrified little boy.
Okay.
Rather than dismissing his concerns, George spoke to him in a language he understood, providing the exact logic and emotional anchor Sheldon needed to overcome his panic.
Mr. Spock, he flies around all the time in that spaceship. He's not afraid, is he?
I'm not Mr. Spock.
No, but I've seen you pretend to be him. Can you do that right now? You be Spock, I'll be Kirk.
This isn't the behavior of a father who was disconnected from his son. It's the behavior of a father who understood exactly what his son needed in that moment. George also helped Sheldon realize that it's not entirely illogical for Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk to hold hands, showing how much he understood what his son loved.
Captain and Mr. Spock don't hold hands.
Sorry?
Okay, maybe just this once.
Based on what Sheldon shared about his father in The Big Bang Theory, it seemed like they rarely connected, and George Sr. didn't care much about the things that mattered to him. However, in Young Sheldon, there is an episode that paints a very different picture of George Cooper. When Dr. Sturgis joins the family for dinner, a simple conversation about black holes quickly turns into a fascinating discussion about alternate realities and what life might look like under different circumstances. Each member of the Cooper family imagines a completely different future, leading to a mix of funny, heartbreaking, and surprisingly revealing scenarios. While most of the family treats the discussion as a thought experiment, George's response stands out. Instead of focusing on fame, success, or personal achievements, his alternate reality revolves around spending more time with his family and being a better husband and father. The moment offers a rare glimpse into George's inner thoughts, showing that beneath his rough exterior is a man who deeply values the people he loves. It's a subtle but powerful scene that challenges the negative image Sheldon often painted of his father in The Big Bang Theory, revealing a side of George that adult Sheldon never fully understood. Toward the end of the episode, adult Sheldon reflects on what he wishes he had said to his father.
There's a lot of things I wish I had said to my dad while he was around, that I appreciated him, that I loved him. Which is why I'm grateful for the times I did tell him how I felt.
In his own Sheldon-like way, he lets his father know that the evening meant a lot to him.
Dr. Sturgis was here. Everybody talked about science. It was nice.
It was.
The smile George gives in return says everything. For a brief moment, the misunderstandings, frustrations, and differences between them disappear, leaving us with a genuinely heartwarming father-son moment that challenges everything Sheldon would later say about his dad. Another time George was portrayed very differently from the image Sheldon painted in The Big Bang Theory was when Missy experienced her first period.
Ready to roll?
Not really.
What's wrong?
It happened.
What happened?
That thing that happens to girls when they're becoming young ladies.
What? Now?
I'm not happy about it either.
While George is often remembered as a rough, emotionally distant father, this episode reveals a much softer and more caring side of him. We all know, for a lady, the least person you can share that topic with is your father, especially a clueless one.
Okay, we're gonna find a payphone and call your mother.
She's not here right now. What can she do?
Well, I don't know what to do.
George stepped up for his daughter, despite not knowing what to do at the moment.
Nothing to worry about. We got this.
Really?
Everything you need is right here.
You're the best.
Come on, I'll show you where the bathroom is.
And he was happy that his daughter had transitioned into a new phase of life.
3, girl. There you go! That's how you do it!
Is that your little girl?
That's my little lady. Well, sometimes.
There's no secret that George Cooper wasn't fully satisfied with his life in Medford. His job at times left him frustrated and underpaid, which kept the family relying solely on his modest income. Eventually, he received a job offer in Oklahoma.
Hey, listen. Something came up today that we need to talk about.
What's that?
I may have a shot at a better job.
Oh, George, they're finally going to make you head coach?
Better than that. Special teams coach, University of Tulsa.
In Oklahoma?
A chance that could not only advance his own career, but also raise his family's standard of living. However, despite this big offer, his family, including his wife and kids, was against the move. They were content with their life in Medford and didn't want the disruption. Seeing the impact of their reactions, George chose to turn down the Oklahoma job.
I turned it down.
Why?
Because you're afraid of Mom?
Because I don't want to live in Oklahoma.
George.
What difference does it make, Mayor? We're not moving.
He put aside his own career advancement to keep his family together. All his sacrifices often went unrecognized, since we don't expect to see the picture Sheldon painted about him. Considering this man had placed his family's well-being above his own dreams.
Did I want to get stuck coaching high school football? Did I want to live across the street from your mother? Did I want to spend my evening getting yelled at by my daughter and my son and my wife?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were so unhappy.
Because you never bothered to ask.
Throughout The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Mary frequently portray George as a simple-minded man with little wisdom. Yet time and time again in Young Sheldon, George demonstrated a level of practical wisdom that neither of them can match when it comes to teaching life's most important lessons. In fact, some of the most valuable advice Sheldon ever received came from the father he so often underestimated. He teaches Sheldon the importance of honoring commitments, even when things don't go according to plan. There is also an incident where Sheldon enters the science fair with a project about protecting Earth from killer asteroids, only to lose to a classmate's simple, frizzy hair machine.
And the winner of the Medford High School Science Fair is Sue Ann Ludlow.
You've got to be kidding me!
Shelley?
You people are crazy!
All right.
You're celebrating mediocrity! Mediocrity!
While Sheldon is understandably frustrated, George takes the time to explain that winning isn't everything.
Sheldon, listen, I know losing ain't easy. I deal with it on the football field all the time. We were down 28 points at the half. It was raining. It was muddy. Everybody in the stands had gone home. After all that, we lose on a bad call. Believe me, I was furious. But I sucked it up. I walked across that field and I shook their hands.
I didn't hear a word you said.
Moments like these clearly challenge the picture painted in The Big Bang Theory of George as a simple-minded man with little wisdom. Time and again, he proves that while he may not have Sheldon's intellect, he possesses the kind of practical wisdom that truly matters in life. Adult Sheldon doesn't remember his parents' marriage as a happy love story, and given what he witnessed growing up, that perspective is probably justified.
You're honestly happy with how your life turned out. You have no regrets.
That giant mistake gave us our children, who I love very much.
What about your husband?
Oh, I love him just fine.
Oh, nice. Put that on a Hallmark card.
Although the relationship between George and his wife wasn't always perfect, especially considering they married under unexpected circumstances, George consistently showed immense support for her. Like any other family, theirs had its ups and downs, but there are several instances where George showed immense support for Mary. For example, when Mary was offered a job in church,
We need someone to step in and fill the position. I was wondering if you might consider it.
George told her to take it, telling her that the kids are capable to take care of themselves.
Go ahead and take the job. Yeah, if it turns out Sheldon and Missy can't look out for themselves for a couple of hours after school, then, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
You sure about this?
Yeah, actually probably good for them. Teach them a little responsibility.
George also steps up when Mary learns she is pregnant and supports her when she suffers a miscarriage. Another key moment is when their church community turns their backs on them after learning about Georgie's teenage pregnancy with Mandy.
Y'all talk a big game about community and then just turn your back when things get a little messy.
Okay, let's just take a breath.
You do that. We're leaving. Come on, Mary.
George, let's talk this through.
I've heard enough. I'll be in the truck.
George wasn't a perfect husband, but in moments like these, when he showed up for his wife and children, we see just how supportive and devoted he truly was, and how Sheldon and Mary never gave him the credit he deserved in The Big Bang Theory. Another moment that shifts how we see George, different from his portrayal in The Big Bang Theory, is when he takes Missy on a dinner date.
I was just thinking that you and me, we don't spend much time together. We should find something to do, just two of us.
Like what?
You tell me, what sounds fun?
I'd like to be taken to dinner.
Great. Where?
To the fanciest restaurant in all of Texas.
Which is?
Red Lobster, where the surf meets the turf.
Their interactions during the date are really sweet, especially when Missy asks her dad to sit with her and help deshell a lobster.
This thing's freaking me out.
Here, let me help you with that. The trick is not to make eye contact.
Tell him.
There. Dunk it in some butter, and then you eat it.
Holy moly.
It's good, huh?
Unbelievable.
I'll leave you to it.
No, sit with me.
Okay.
When I grow up, I'm gonna eat lobster every night.
Well, then you better stay in school and get a good education.
I was thinking I'd just marry a rich guy.
George would later try to take Missy on the date again.
Well, come on. We had our first daddy-daughter date here.
Oh my God, don't ever call it that again.
But she felt embarrassed since she had reached adolescence, and we all know how teens often feel about being seen with their parents, especially their fathers.
What?
I have friends who come here on actual dates. They might see us.
George didn't take it personally. He simply found another way to make her smile.
Okay. What would you like me to call our daddy-daughter dates?
You're so annoying.
Altogether, these moments show just how present George was for his children, showing a totally different picture from the picture we got in The Big Bang Theory. Across these moments, George Cooper proves that his role as a father goes far beyond what Sheldon often remembers or acknowledges. George consistently shows courage, protection, and deep emotional understanding. He may not be perfect, but time and time again, he steps up when it matters most, quietly taking on pain, fear, and responsibility, so his children and wife didn't have to. And in doing so, George revealed that real strength isn't about intellect, but about showing up for the people you love, no matter the cost.